Okay, so in this short video, we're going to go over how to set up some listing alerts, specifically how to go ahead and set up alerts that get notified to you, sort of like an auto email, basically. So what we're going to do here is start off going into matrix search right here. And from here, we're going to go ahead and this is a portion a lot of agents, I think, don't really use too much, maybe aren't too familiar with it, but you'll notice that in this search, we've got a built-in hot sheet right here to the lower right. So we can go ahead and basically select, you can see new listings or list prices that have dropped or increased or decreased. Essentially any status change or price change that's available in our system is right here. So change the poll pending, change the sold, change the rented. Now we could go ahead and say we want, if we did any change, right? So if we wanted maybe a situation where, we have a listing and we want to go ahead and have anything that's changed. Maybe we want to know if something's coming on the market within maybe a certain distance, a mile from our listing. If someone's dropping a price near our listing, that kind of a thing. Or we can set it up just in general here for any market changes, maybe in a certain area we're prospecting in, or just want to keep an eye out here for. So we can do any change you can see there or any price change and get everything. But you can also notice right here, if I hold my control key down, we can also say, well, I just maybe want things that have changed to sold, or I want definitely anything that's dropped the prices and any new listings that are coming on the market here. So as an example, I'll just keep it at that here. Now right below it, you'll see you have the change date. And so the change date there, 0 is today. And so if I wanted to go ahead and do, say, 0 minus 3, for instance, I'm getting the last 3 days, right? So every day that goes forward, what I'm seeing here is just the last 3 days. So if I wanted the last 7 days, 0 minus 7, right? Or I could just do 0 minus 1, and so I'm just going and every day I'm just getting what's changed basically from the previous day there, right? So I could set these up. I'll do as an example just 0 minus maybe 7 here. Get the whole week here. Now up top here, I don't want to put anything in the status. I'm going to leave that blank because if I put active, then I'm only getting status changes that were in the active category. So, maybe, I want, any listing that's maybe a active, contingent, pending, any kind of thing there where they've changed the status, new listing. So I'm just going to leave that portion blank as long as we have our hot sheet here filled out, what we want right there. And in this case, I'm going to select single family. We can obviously do that for condo, townhouse, the same philosophy, just select condo, townhouse. And then the city. So in this case, let's go ahead and just do a city here. I'll just go ahead and how about, I'll do San Jose, large area here. So, wow, 328 matches there. So I tell you, how about something, how about I'll adjust it so instead of the last 7 days, how about the last day, and see what we get here. So we got 58, right? So let's take a look at the results here, right? So when I look at the results, here is our agent one line display, and the way that we want to look at it is change the display here to a hot sheet display. That way we can see, right here, agent one line. I'm going to scroll on down there. There's hot sheet at the very bottom right there. So we'll select hot sheet. Now you can see. Now I can go ahead and any change type here. Right, new listings. Right, things that went to sold. Looks like one list price decrease right there, and notice that if I hover above it, 7.15%, it'll actually show me the actual, what the actual price reduction is here. Let's see if I can get it over there. There we go. So looks like down from 2.998 down to 2.798. And so you can see here, it's just a nice way I can go ahead and get now, all the hot sheet information, but I don't want to have to go check on this every day, right? What I want it to do is I want it to notify me. So if somebody's dropping a price, right? Or these things that I've done here, any new listings, something's changed to sold, for instance, what I've selected, I want it to notify me so I don't miss out on any of this. So what we'll do here is down at the very bottom, hit the save button, and we'll set it up as an auto email, new auto email right here. So I'll click new auto email, got to give it a contact name. In this case, normally when we do an auto email, we send that out to, our clients, right? And I could certainly do that. But in this case, what I want to do is I want to set this up to alert myself. So I'm going to put myself in as the contact here. There I am. So I'll be the contact. And then the message, anything, every time it's in this kind of yellowish, that means it's a required field. So subject here, whatever it is. How about listing alerts in San Jose, just as an example here. And then down below here, I'll just set the schedule. So for the schedule here, you can see I can set it up. So how do I want to be alerted? So I might want to do ASAP. So ASAP, as soon as somebody drops a price, I'm going to get notified, immediately. Right, as soon as something has changed to sold in this case, any of those things that I've selected from that hot sheet in our search, I'm going to be notified right away. So that might be something I want to do. Otherwise, I could set it up daily and say, just every day. How about maybe I could say in the evening, I just want to be alerted. Of what changes. And that way, I'm just going to get one email that way, and it's going to go ahead and tell me every day here, what's changed. So you get control over how you want to do it, whether it's a couple of days or every day or ASAP. Probably I'd want to do maybe ASAP, depending on how big of an area I'm looking at. So if I'm looking at a small area, I probably want to be notified right away if someone's dropped a price or done some of these things I want to keep an eye out for. So we set the schedule, and then we just hit the save button right there. Right, we'll hit the save button, and you can see there, and we'll be all set. So I've created the auto email for the listing alerts, and right there. Now, a lot of times, just when you guys do this, when we're doing this, we don't want to do it for the map. So instead of doing it, in terms of, go back to my criteria, we did it in terms of a city there, and I did just San Jose as an example there. But what I could have done is, instead of a city, is really get into neighborhoods here. So like I said, maybe I have a listing or I just want to get into a neighborhood, so I can use the map search. In this case, I'll just pop in an address and use this. And so maybe I want to go ahead and use this as my subject property here. And if you see up in the map search here, there we are. What I'm getting is a 1 mile radius around that. Now I could make it bigger here. I could go out more, and you can see I get maybe some more data here. So I could always shrink it or make it bigger. I could also, if I wanted to, if I wanted to really go ahead and get into the neighborhoods, maybe there's a neighborhood I want to just really keep an eye on. I can use my cutting tools up here. We got a polygon tool, we got a radius tool. I'll use the polygon. And just as an example here, you can see, I'm just going to draw, an area here. There we go. And so now this would be the area I'm keeping an eye on here. So any alerts, anything that's changed there, price-wise, status-wise that I've selected, just in this area, right, as long as I go ahead and I do it as an auto email, right, save it as an auto email there. I can set it up again, set it up for myself as the contact, set up the subject line, but set up when do I want it, right? ASAP or daily. It's really that simple. So all we're really doing here is just, doing the search using the hot sheet capability here. Just to go ahead and tell us, hey, any prices, any status changes, whatever I want. And so, we could, call it a listing alert, call it whatever you want, but using our auto emails to then put ourselves as the contact, so we get notified, right? So that we don't miss out on anything. So it's a nice way. We have hot sheets. If we ever go into My Matrix here and you go in your dashboard, we have hot sheets here where you can set up right here. You can see hot sheets. Same thing applies, right? It's showing me basically any changes, and I can set up here. But when we do it here, we actually have to come and search and look for it. So a lot of better ways just to set it up as an auto email like we did. That way we don't miss out on anything, and we're alerted anytime any of these go. And we have a choice to get into the neighborhoods or set it up as a city view or zip code view, right? Completely up to the agent how he wants to set that up. One last thing, just looking at the portal itself here, I'm going to go over here. So let's see if we could go ahead and look actually my matrix, and let's look at auto emails here. So the one I just set up here. So I can always come in here and take a look at my auto emails. And here's the one I set up right here, listing alerts in San Jose. So I can open that, and you can see this open in portal. So this is just like anytime you send a client an auto email, right? So this is what we're going to get. So you can see all these alerts I've got from that one I set up in San Jose, and so here it is. And so we see that. So I can actually see, the views here of the each individual listing and what's going on there with each property. So that is, in a nutshell, how to set up a listing alert. And if there's any questions at all, feel free to give me a call. 408-940-2428 is my number, or shoot me an email. So PRODEV, PRODEV, at MLSlistings.com. That goes to me, goes to Mark Messmer, goes to all our training staff. So if you have any problems setting it up or have any questions about setting up, just give me a call. But it is a simple process, and probably a great idea to set one up for an area you're doing business in. Definitely if you have a listing, a mile or two around your listing, so nothing kind of surprises you and you don't have a client come to you with information, right? You'll have that already and know what's going on. Somebody drops a price or comes on the market. So, all right, thanks, and look forward to hearing anyone if you have any questions.